Sir, कुछ भी बोले, that was one of the most difficult exam in the history of India. Sir, agree or disagree?
Our goal is that we will never try to make the paper difficult.
Sir, झूठ बोल रहे हैं अभी. Sir, decision making is standard on the similar lines of last year, or are you expecting some changes? सर पेपर बताओ, डिसीजन मेकर लोग मुझे पूछते हैं आप राहुल सर से एक्सएलआरआई जाके पेपर लेके आओ, पेपर भेजो ना सर.
To when it comes to the context of decision making, we are not going to.
सर ज़्यादा देना चाहिए नहीं देना चाहिए?
मुझे लगता है कि
हाय एवरीवन, वेलकम ऑन बोर्ड. आज का थीम थोड़ा सीरियस अफेयर है भाई. कैट के बाद तुम्हें जैट देना है चाहिए कि देना है? कैट से एग्जाम बहुत तुम्हारा बेकार हुआ. आज जैट के कन्वीनर साक्षात हमारे सामने बैठे हुए हैं. हाय कन्वीनर साहब, वेलकम ऑन बोर्ड. राहुल जी,
thank you
so much for coming on the channel again.
And keep meeting so much that we have stopped greeting each other.
So we have stopped with like, thank you, but sir, thank you so much for inviting me to XLRI Jamshedpur. And boys and girls, we are here to ask him some questions, like what kind of paper is going to be. सर हमने तो कैट के बाद थोड़ा होप छोड़ दिया है और बड़ा मोटिवेट किया बच्चों को, तुम कर सकते हो. एंड आई एम कोई कोड एक्चुअली स्क्रूड इट अप. एंड व्हेन आई एम सेइंग स्क्रूड इट अप, सर डीएलआर वाज ऑफ, राइट? और कई जगह पे स्लॉट नंबर 2 थोड़ा डूएबल था, कुछ क्वेश्चंस, बट स्लॉट नंबर 3 के अंदर क्वांट वाज लाइक हे वायर. अच्छे बच्चे आके बोल रहे थे 4 ही क्वेश्चन सॉल्व हुए हैं. देन टाइप इन द आंसर क्वेश्चंस जो होते हैं, राइट, वो एक एमसीक्यू होते हैं और कैट में टाइप इन द आंसर क्वेश्चन होते हैं. वो सर nearly 40 to 50% of the paper is like type in the answer questions. Every case has got a constraint. Every case has got more thinking to be done, and there are loopholes. It's not straightforward. Of course, I expect it's CAT. It's from IIM Ahmedabad. It cannot be straightforward. But in that 40 minutes of time, we want our students to go and do it in the best possible way. So I don't know what's going to be on the that side as well. It hurts us because people prepare really hard.
So what are you expecting me to tell you?
I'm expecting to ask you कि क्या सर क्या करने वाले हैं ZAT में? What kind of mind setup we have as a convener and other folks who are part of the paper setting mechanism at XLRI?
To be honest, I completely empathize with those who work or prepare really hard for the other test, and because the nature of test was for them difficult, they could not manage to do well. So I understand, and that can happen in any exam, right? Nobody wants to make the paper difficult, right? Whatever we say about the convener or the school who is conducting any test, nobody wants to make a paper difficult, because what we will get out of a difficult paper, right? But when it comes to our exam, XAT, for many years, since I have taken over, our goal is that we will never try to make the paper difficult, number one. Right? Because we get nothing out of it. When I say nothing, literally nothing. If I have 28 questions in my quantitative aptitude and data interpretation, and people are only doing 10, then what is the point of giving extra 18 questions, right? So we never believe in that. Number two, we also know that some questions are not touched by students because they look different. For that, at our end, we do analysis, and we try to understand what kind of questions are picked, what kind of questions are not picked. And based on that, we make changes in the future question papers. So if you talk about Xavier aptitude test, because I take care of it, we would never try to make the paper difficult, for sure. But of course, we will not say that paper is going to be very easy, because there are lots of people who invest their 6 to 8 months in the preparation. We want to do justice to those guys, right? If somebody is working hard, कोई मेहनत कर रहा है 6, 7, 8 महीने से, तो हम ऐसा पेपर तो नहीं बना के देंगे कि कोई जिसने बिल्कुल भी नहीं पढ़ा और जिसने बहुत पढ़ा. It's not a level playing ground then, right? So paper would be like a paper, definitely not difficult paper, doable paper, and it would not create fear. And if you put your thought, 100% you will be able to solve a paper.
बढ़िया. बट सर आपने हिंट कर दिया है, पेपर तो सर बताते नहीं, पर हिंट किया है सर ने कि 6 से 8 महीने जिसने पढ़ाई करी हुई है ना, उसका मुझे कुछ भला हो सकता है, right? He'll be able to solve the paper for sure. और अगर आप एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हो तुम्हारे कॉलेज की तरह पेपर लास्ट दिन पढ़ के तुम निकाल जाओगे, नहीं होने वाला ZAT.
सर कोई भी नहीं होगा, कोई भी एग्जाम.
सर कुछ भी बोले, that was one of the most difficult exam in the history of India. Sir, agree or disagree?
Completely disagree.
Sir, was बोला मैंने.
Was मतलब पहले की भी, if you talk about the past as well, the focus was never to make the paper.
सर झूठ बोल रहे हैं. अभी 2018, 19, 20 कन्वीनर यहाँ पे खड़े हुए थे गुरुनाथन सर, और यहाँ से गए. और मुनीश सर के साथ भी मैंने इंटरव्यू किया हुआ है, जो और सुभाष शर्मा सर जो मेरे टाइम पे सर कन्वीनर थे. और एक बार 2008-9 का पेपर देख लो. बट आई एग्री, यू मेलो डाउन ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, राइट? it's become a standard test. It's become, I would not say more like CAT, but it's doable. But 6-8 महीने पढ़ाई करी हो तो होगा.
Of course.
सर जीके क्यों निकाला आपने? पहले आप जीके को वेटेज देते थे बहुत ज्यादा, फिर आपने जीके थोड़ा कम किया, फिर उसके अंदर करंट अफेयर्स डाला, फिर स्टैटिक जीके बोल दिया, 12+8 कर दिया. Why these changes of GK?
See, we call it general awareness, by the way, right? It's not general knowledge. We want to understand the person who wants to study in a place like XLRI or other associate B schools, important B schools which come under that umbrella. You need to have an understanding of how the world operates around you, right? You don't work in isolation. So we test your general awareness. And if you kept your ears and eyes open for last 8-9 months, it will be very easy for you to handle our general knowledge section, right? But I will also tell you that don't ignore the month of December as well, right? In fact, if the exam is on 4th, something happens on 1st can also be in the paper.
Is it?
Yeah, of course.
क्या बात है सर.
बहुत डायनामिक है हमारा पेपर.
तो बच्चे बोलते थे अब तक तो पेपर छप क्या होगा, ये वाला क्वेश्चन नहीं आएगा. तो दिसंबर का भी जीके पढ़ रहा है.
पेपर छपता नहीं है, for your information. It's a digital paper, so
चलो लॉक तो फ्रीज तो हो गया होगा.
हाँ, it gets frozen, of course, but we can always make modifications because it's a digital paper.
You can unlock it and then lock it.
Of course. Unlock in the sense, it's not like you put it and put a passcode. All those things is not what we do.
Last time, I really appreciate the fact, last time BTS के सवाल हुए थे. You know, there was a question about BTS, they were talking a question about Olympics. There was very
Game of Thrones also.
Game of Thrones.
Yes,
wow.
See, we want to make the paper relatable, right? Abhi generations are changing, people are changing, their mindsets are changing. We want the paper to be relevant at the same time relatable.
Awesome.
Right? It is relevant, but it's not relatable. It will not make any sense to new generation, right? They should enjoy the paper. In fact, there were lots of positive messages which were sent to me on my ID because the students found paper good.
Paper was standard. देखो doable standard तो बात की बात है, but अगर मेहनत की हुई तो हो जाएगा. Sir, essay का क्या scene है? In couple of years, I see essay has been toned down. There was a time when Gurunathan sir, the ex-convener I was talking about, he was asking like jingoism and capitalism cannot coexist. ना तो बच्चों को jingoism का मतलब पता है, capitalism थोड़ा सा पता ही है, but when you tell them to write a 300-word, 400-word essay, it's impossible. And but I really appreciate the fact, sir, when जहाँ बच्चे यहाँ पे आते हैं, आप उनका feedback भी लेते हैं students का, and then you work on that, and then you started giving 3 essays, right? 2 essays were doable. मतलब किसी को risk का था, changes का था. This was 2022, I suppose, 2022, 2023, and then now this essay is like you will have the essay, but essay will be towards the
GDPI round.
Okay, so essay is totally out.
Yeah, it's totally out. The simple reason was it's not that we didn't want essay to be attempted by candidates. We realized that we are dependent on a third party for our test, right? And to ensure that all the hardwares are functioning well was getting difficult, and I was getting lots of messages from students that because of the problem with the keyboard, we could not manage to write essay well. So we realized that why, if hardware issues can happen, why do we keep essays in the XAT itself? Why not we move essays to GDPI round? For a simple reason, we use the score of essays only for XLRI.
Okay.
Right?
But essay is going to be there in the GDPI round, right?
Yes. So we call it VAT now.
Oh, lovely. So just like I'm Ahmedabad, you VAT. So this VAT, it will be online, computer-based, or?
No, it would be happening offline. And what we do is, after group discussion gets over, we ask students to write on the same topic. So we want to understand that when you have ideas, how can you manage to put them in a structure?
So GD and what का topic same रहेगा. That's a good revelation, boys and girls. Like करो इसी बात पे तुम्हें information मिल रही है कि ये लोगों ने XLRI की call आ जाएगी, ये नहीं पता होगा तुम्हें. Thank you, Convener साहब. That's a good revelation. Lovely, yaar, lovely. Let's come back. There's another section called decision making. So decision making is standard on the similar lines of last year, or are you expecting some changes? Are there personal growth questions? Is it business questions? Is it ethics based?
So we don't make changes very quickly, right? Last year itself we made some changes. We reduced the number of questions. We removed essay from the part 2 section, right? We don't want to make any changes this year, number one. Number two, when it comes to the context of decision making, we are not going to bring context from business deliberately, or even if there are contexts from businesses, what we do is we keep the decision making more neutral. Why? Because lots of students who attempt these questions don't have any business sense. There are freshers, there are people who come from engineering background. They might not know about business, right? So if we use or try to understand business knowledge through these stems, it would be injustice to everybody. Therefore, even if context appears to be business, of course, the questions would not be about business. They would be more about using common sense. They would be more about understanding the decision maker, the stakeholders, and the resources available. I guess if you have that clarity, you will be able to attempt decision making. There would be no issue with that.
So, sir, after all these ruckus of CAT, मुझे तो ये पता है कि मुश्किल गया CAT जैसा भी है, बट परसेंटाइल बेस्ड सिस्टम है. 2.52 लाख लोग जिन्होंने CAT दिया, उसमें से 25,000 लोगों को तो इंटरव्यू कॉल आ जानी है. ठीक है. XAT के थ्रू आपने बताया अप्रॉक्सीमेटली 7,000 8,000 के आसपास आप इंटरव्यू कॉल करोगे फॉर 6,000 ऑड सीट्स, राइट सर? पर आपका क्या टेक है? XAT देना चाहिए, नहीं देना चाहिए?
पहले तो लेट मी क्लैरिफाई, XAT सिर्फ XLRI नहीं लेता है. देयर आर 250 प्लस B schools which accept XAT scores, right?
उसमें सारे जैसे भी हैं वो बाद में बात करेंगे सर की जाने के बाद. बट XAT के थ्रू यू गॉट IMI Delhi, you got IMT, you got GIM, Great Lakes, 4, Tapmi, Velinker. Most of the AICT approved good private schools are also through XAT. तो आपको लिए वो भी ओपन हो जाते हैं.
करेक्ट. एंड फर्दरिंग ऑन व्हाट यू आस्क्ड, XAT लेना चाहिए कि नहीं लेना चाहिए, मुझे लगता है इफ़ यू आर प्रिपेयर्ड हार्ड फॉर लास्ट 5 to 6 months, ऑफ कोर्स यू शुड टेक XAT, राइट? अगर आपके पास रिसोर्सेज हैं, एफर्ट्स डाले हैं, राइट? एग्जाम्स कैन गो ईदर वेज, राइट? यू कैन डू वेल, यू कैन डू बैडली, डजंट मैटर. बट इफ़ यू आर श्योर एंड इफ़ यू हैव राइट मेंटरशिप, यू शुड डेफिनेटली टेक XAT.
बढ़िया. 1 to each own. मैं तो इनको बोलता हूँ, अगर पढ़ाई करी हुई है, अगर आपका डू और डाई है, इस बार MBA करना ही करना है, और CAT की तैयारी करी हुई थी, अच्छा नहीं गया, लगता है अंदर से फीलिंग आ रही है कि यार 1 महीना 20 दिन में एफर्ट मार सकता हूँ, डिसीजन मेकिंग ज़्यादा पढ़ना है. क्वांट्स अगर तुम्हारा ठीक ठाक है, क्वांट्स प्लस DILR यहाँ कंबाइन हो जाता है. GK और ऐसे तो मैं बोलने वाला था पढ़ने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, बट अब बाद में देख लेंगे यार, बाद में तुम कॉल ले जाओ पहले. बट अगर लगता है कि और अंग्रेज़ी में थोड़ा सा हाथ अच्छा है, बिकॉज XAT इज primarily moving, it's on this side of the number line towards verbal ability, because there's verbal, there's decision making, right? And DM is a totally new section, so you are starting the race from scratch in this section, right? तो अगर करना चाहिए तो मुझे लगता है XAT देना चाहिए, बाकी तुम्हारी मर्जी है. Thank you so much, sir. Really appreciate your time. Really humbled to have you on board.
I appreciate that you have come down all the way from Mumbai to Jamshedpur for this. Very happy for him. You have been doing wonderful work. You have been supporting our students. In fact, when I go to my classes and talk to my students and they talk about you, I feel really great. I'm very happy the kind of work you're doing, the kind of support you are giving to students. I guess this is more than a job you're doing, actually a service. Please keep doing it. Please keep helping students, and I'm sure with your efforts, lots of good students who are looking forward to become business leaders, they would get opportunities to come to great B schools. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Really appreciate it. It's an honor coming from you. Thank you so much. All right, boys and girls, do it in the like button for sure. मुझे कमेंट करके बताइए कि भाई तुम लोग XAT दे रहे हो कि नहीं दे रहे हो, अप्लाई किया है कि नहीं किया है, करने वाले हो या सोच रहे हो कि XAT के थ्रू कौन सा कॉलेज मिलेगा. अगर किसी कॉलेज के बारे में कुछ क्वेश्चन है वो भी मुझे कमेंट करके बताइए. मोर देन हैप्पी. सर को थैंक यू बोलेगा और लिख देना सर, पेपर इजी डालने, थोड़ा कुछ अच्छा हो जाएगा. गॉड ब्लेस यू सर. थैंक यू सो मच वंस अगेन. टेक केयर. बाय बाय.
थैंक यू.
डू इट इन द लाइक बटन. प्लीज शेयर द वीडियो विद अदर फोक्स एज वेल. उनका भी थोड़ा भला कर दो. Thank you. Bye-bye.